to build the tomorrow you want. Become a difference maker. Become a chartered accountant. Your business is a living thing, growing and evolving based on the decisions you make, the directions you take. Chartered accountants have the breadth of skills, commitment to ethics, and global expertise to help your business thrive. We are uniquely experienced to make a difference to your world. Choose a difference maker. Choose a chartered accountant.
Sustainability isn't just about the environment. It's reshaping the future of businesses. For chartered accountants, it's now a core part of financial leadership.
Investors, regulators, and clients demand transparency in sustainability performance. Chartered accountants play a key role in measuring, reporting, and ensuring sustainable business practices.
Climate risks, carbon pricing, and ethical supply chains directly affect financial stability. By integrating sustainability into audits and strategy, chartered accountants help businesses stay resilient and compliant.
The profession is evolving. Sustainability reporting is just now as critical as financial reporting. Accountants, let's be equipped with skills to lead this change because the future is sustainable.
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
Lead with sustainability.
What kind of tomorrow do you want to shape? A connected world, working together to prosper and thrive. Training as a chartered accountant puts you in a position to make a real difference, giving you the skills and perspectives to build the tomorrow you want. Become a difference maker. Become a chartered accountant. Your business is a living thing, growing and evolving based on the decisions you make, the directions you take. Chartered accountants have the breadth of skills, commitment to ethics, and global expertise to help your business thrive. We are uniquely experienced to make a difference to your world. Choose a difference maker. Choose a chartered accountant.
Sustainability isn't just about the environment. It's reshaping the future of businesses. For chartered accountants, it's now a core part of financial leadership.
Investors, regulators, and clients demand transparency in sustainability performance. Chartered accountants play a key role in measuring, reporting, and ensuring sustainable business practices.
Climate risks, carbon pricing, and ethical supply chains directly affect financial stability. By integrating sustainability into audits and strategy, chartered accountants help businesses stay resilient and compliant.
The profession is evolving. Sustainability reporting is just now as critical as financial reporting. Accountants, let's be equipped with skills to lead this change because the future is sustainable.
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
Lead with sustainability.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar that we have today which is AI Data Governance and Risk webinar. And my name is Pascal Munjoma, and I work with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe with the Standards and the Technical Service Department. So today we are just going to deep dive much into what is more of AI and the more of the technology that is happening around our sphere. So the main thing of the webinar is artificial intelligence and data-driven technologies that are rapidly transforming the accounting and the finance profession. So from the automated financial analysis, fraud detection to predictive modeling and regulatory reporting, I think that AI is really reshaping how accountants work, make decisions, and also manage risk. But however, this is a transformation that comes with significant responsibility. Accountants now, us, we must now understand how to govern data, ethically assess AI related risks, and also apply these tools with professional competence. So generally, this webinar, as we are hosting it as the Institute, it will provide you with practical AI and data governance for all professionals that are within finance, and it is designed to equip all of you with actionable knowledge and skills to navigate the evolving technological landscape with confidence and integrity. And as I'm going to set out the objectives of this and what are the things that are going to come out of this webinar. The first objective that we have for this webinar is for us to really understand what AI is and what is it coming up with in our profession. And the second objective that we are going to have is to identify all the risks associated with AI adoption in financial reporting, decision making as accountants, as people that are within the finance profession, is to outline also the practical data governance frameworks relevant to the finance professional, and also to demonstrate how accountants can assess and manage AI related risk in their organizations. So buckle up as we are going to engage much more, as you're going to input much more skills for you to engage credibly with AI and data governance conversation in your workplaces, and also to highlight emerging regulatory and ethical considerations around AI use in the profession generally. So we are going to be talking about AI landscape, data governance, and AI risk for the next hour, and we're going to have a question and answer session for the last minutes of the webinar. And these are the housekeeping rules that you're going to have over that 1 hour. We have the chat box that is at your top for you to engage with the speaker and all that. Can you kindly just use the chat box? We have the question and answer box for if you have questions while our speaker are presenting. Just post your question in the question and answer box. It will be answered, and at the question and answer session we'll be unmuting all of you so that you'll be able to interact your questions with the speaker. And also we would like to know where you are joining this webinar from. So from the chat box, just type your name and the organization that you're working for, and where you are joining the webinar from. We would like to know all the people that are within this space at this hour. So ladies and gentlemen, right now I have Tanya Kujinga. As our speaker, and before she gets to all that she's prepared for you, just know that she is a distinguished expert in enterprise data management, AI governance, and information security risk, holding certifications in information security management, risk and information system control, and data management. and she brings a wealth of practice experience in helping organizations govern their data assets responsibly and harness AI technologies with appropriate risk controls. Tanya has worked extensively with finance team and boards to align data governance strategies with regulatory requirements and organizational objectives. And that's who I have here. And as she is joining us straight from the US, allow me to give this time to Tanya.
Thank you so much, Pascal.
Great,
Wonderful
Tanya.
introduction. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank ICRIS to be part of this important discussion. AI is rapidly changing how organizations operate, make decisions, manage risk, like Pascal said, and report financial information. What makes this important for accountants is that trust is always set in the center of the profession. AI is now challenging you to rethink how you trust established data, validate it, and increasingly automate it in heavily regulated environments. And so therefore, today is not just about technology, it is about governance, accountability, professional skepticism, and the evolving role of finance professionals in the AI world. Go ahead and move on to the next slide. So you probably might be wondering, why does this matter to me? Many organizations are adopting AI, then they are governing it. And what we're seeing globally is that AI adoption is accelerating across IT and also finance, audit, compliance, and reporting functions. But data governance, AI governance, is not always keeping pace. And what does that do to the accounting function? It creates a dangerous gap. Historically, weak data governance may have created isolated reporting issues or operational inefficiencies. Today, weak governance can scale incorrect decisions, flawed forecasts, biased outputs, compliance exposure. And this is why AI and governance are no longer purely technological functions. They are now board-level risk and trust discussions. The organizations that will succeed will not necessarily be those that have the most advanced technology, but there will be organizations that have established governance, oversight, accountability, and trust early. My objective today is not to make everyone technical experts in AI. Instead, the goal is to help finance professionals engage confidently and credibly in AI-related conversations within your organizations. This is because increasingly, finance leaders, auditors, and accountants are being asked questions like, can we trust this data? Can you explain the output? What controls do we have inside the model? Or what do we need to put inside the model? Are we exposing confidential information? Are we still compliant? Who is the owner for the data? What processes and controls do we have in place? And all these are governance questions. And governance is where the accounting profession naturally should have strength. So who is this webinar for? Again, I'll say AI governance is no longer an IT function, but it's now an enterprise-wide function that is not siloed. One important shift happening globally is that AI governance is no longer owned by our IT departments. I know so many times I've sat in the IT function doing data governance, and in most cases, it failed until we started sitting in the business function because we helped define the business needs, the business value, questions needed to make us competitive as an organization. And so because of this, finance teams, auditors, risk officers, compliance teams, regulators, and business leaders are becoming stakeholders in AI governance. And this is because AI is influencing financial reporting, operational decisions, forecasting, customer outcomes, and risk exposure. That means everyone involved in assurance, controls, reporting, and decision-making must understand both the opportunities and risks associated with AI. So how are we going to spend our time together? We are going to go through this conversation progressively. First, we'll establish a common understanding of AI and how it is already affecting finance environments. Then we will move into data governance because trustworthy AI is impossible without trustworthy data. So our integrity has to be there. Data integrity, that is. From there, we discuss AI risk, governance responsibilities, and the accountant's evolving role. Lastly, we will explore regulation, ethics, and practical next steps organizations can begin implementing immediately. And so before we do that, we want to make sure that we have a shared language around AI. One challenge in the market today is that AI is often discussed with a mixture of hype, fear, and misunderstanding. For finance professionals, clarity matters and is very important because governance starts with understanding what exactly we are governing. And so I'll start by walking you through what is AI? Artificial intelligence is essentially about systems performing tasks that traditionally required human judgment or intelligence. Machine learning allows systems to identify patterns from data, which is the reporting function, our analytics and our modeling. Generative AI tools can create summaries, narratives, analysis, or recommendations. But here's an important governance point. AI outputs are probabilistic, not authoritative. The accounting and finance, that distinction matters greatly and need to define this clearly. A confident answer from AI is not automatically a correct answer. That means professional judgment, validation, and skepticism remain essential. AI is already deeply entering financial environments, not just in large global organizations, but increasingly across regional and local businesses as well. As a consultant part-time, I've had conversations with small businesses from Zimbabwe reaching out to understand how they can govern their AI and how they can efficiently use it. And most of these were financial institutions, heavily regulated, or were supporting financial institutions. And so I saw AI supporting reconciliations, fraud detection, forecasting, audit analytics, reporting automation. But what changes fundamentally is not simply automation. What changes is the level of organizational reliance placed on machine-generated insights and outputs. And what that does is it changes the accountant's role. The accountant increasingly becomes not only a preparer of information, but also a governor of trust within the information ecosystem. And so I want to walk you through a demo. Before I share my screen, if you're on a laptop or a phone, I want you to open ChatGPT. We want to move from theory into something practical. One of the biggest reasons AI adoption is accelerating is because it can significantly reduce the time professionals spend analyzing large volumes of financial information. Instead of manually reviewing hundreds of pages or spreadsheets, finance professionals can increasingly use AI to surface insights, trends, anomalies, and draft commentary within seconds. Let's walk through this scenario on our screen. A finance manager preparing for month-end reporting may want to quickly identify unusual expenditure patterns, profitability concerns, or operational risks before presenting results to leadership. This is where AI becomes powerful as an analytical assistant. So let's walk through that prompt. We have the 10K report that we use here. You can pull them online. Everyone has access to them. And so we'll be reviewing one today, which is the Apple's 10K report. And we are asking AI to analyze profitability ratios, compare performance against industry benchmarks, identify unusual variances, flag potential risks, summarize trends, and even draft a CFO-style commentary. What traditionally may have taken hours of manual analysis can now be accelerated significantly. And this is the very important strategic section. What makes this valuable is not simply speed of how it's going to do it, but it is the ability to help finance professionals move more quickly from raw data to insight generation. What AI can do is to help you summarize large data sets rapidly, identify patterns human may miss initially, accelerate management reporting, support focusing discussions, and improve executive decision preparation. In many organizations, the competitive advantage is increasingly shifting from who has the data to who can interpret and govern it effectively. And this is exactly where governance becomes critical. Let's look at the risks. AI may produce convincing analysis that appear credible on the surface, but guess what? It contains incorrect assumptions, fabricated conclusions, misunderstood financial context, or analysis based on poor quality source data. So what I'm saying is one of the biggest risks in finance environments is not necessarily malicious AI. It is overconfidence in AI-generated outputs. This means the accounts and accountant's role will not disappear, but it will become more important. The professional must validate outputs, challenge assumptions, assess materiality, and ensure conclusions are grounded in evidence. I remember watching a short clip video of my friend, the recently appointed Auditor General, Mimbai Chikwenere, and she was explaining what, in a layman's term, auditing is. And she said it's verifying. That verification portion is what is important now. Human in the loop, which means accountability still remains with the human professional. Quick question, did we all open ChatGPT? I'm gonna pause sharing a bit so we can use our prompt and put it in there. Did anyone open ChatGPT? I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen for our demo. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
For the benefit of some of you that might be on this call that might be wondering what the Apple 10K report looks like, this is what it looks like. It has 58 pages. So imagine as an accountant going through all these pages. At some point, you're bound to miss something. This is what the market screener would look like for the same report. Loss of information, which means it can almost take you a week, if not two, to review all this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put our prompt in that I just shared on the screen. And then we're going to run it. Then there you go. There goes our prompt. It puts in the executive summary. It shows the financial highlights that we just asked it. It clearly shows the profitability ratio analysis. Oh my God, there we go. Let's move this back up. And it shows the variances significantly higher. It does the analysis, shows the unusual variance, immediately points out the risk consideration, shows that we are operating at a higher, materially higher margin, does the analysis. You can quickly browse through the unusual variance, which was going to take you hours and which you might have missed, and what risks this may be. So in this case, AI investments requirements accelerate, regulatory pressures reduce App Store economics, hardware replacement cycles weaken. And then again, we look at the net profit margin. Still, Apple's remains slightly higher, if not significantly. Again, it puts in analysis, unusual variance. This is all that you can almost miss or need more time to be able to define. As you go through that report, it shows the return on equity. Look at the difference, 150%, while the industry is lagging at 20 to 30%. The analysis again is put in. We're looking at the return on assets, segment geographic profitability, and all those good things that are following. I'm willing to spend a lot of time here. And again, we asked you to draft a CFO commentary. It's already drafted that. Also thrown in a link to stocklight.com. And again, it goes on to tell you what it has done. The question I have for you is, can we trust this analysis from a face value? Can we trust it? And that's the question I'll leave you with. I'll go ahead and share my slides. I'll stop sharing and pull my slides up. Righty, let me know if you see my screen again.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Wonderful. So after that live demo example, this slide may be the most important for this profession. Generative AI can produce highly convincing outputs that are entirely fabricated. If you ask AI right now to summarize the IFRS 99, it will demonstrate this perfectly. And one of the greatest governance risks with AI is that confidence can easily be mistaken for assurance. And so as accountants and auditors, we already understand the importance of evidence, validation, and skepticism. These principles become more important in AI-driven environments. Professional skepticism is not becoming obsolete because of AI. It is becoming more valuable. And so let's look into how AI is already affecting Zimbabwean finance teams. You know, sometimes there is a perception that AI is still a future issue for Zimbabwean organizations. But in reality, adoption is already happening formally and informally. Banks are using fraud analytics. Audit teams are increasing their use of data analytics. Businesses are experimenting with AI-assisted forecasting and reporting. And so the question is no longer whether AI is entering the finance environment. The real governance question is, are organizations prepared to govern AI responsibly before reliance becomes widespread? And now we're going to move into the data governance section. So if we're going to call AI the engine, data governance is the control framework that keeps the engine trustworthy. And I'll tell you this, without governed data, organizations cannot trust analytics, reporting, forecasting, or any AI inputs and outputs. So the question is, what is data governance and why does it matter? Data governance is often misunderstood as a technical or administrative activity. Anytime you mention it, usually there's resistance because people feel like they're being asked to do extra on top of what they were already hired to do. Yet in reality, it is a strategic trust framework. It defines accountability. It defines ownership, controls, data quality expectations. and responsible use of data across organizations. In the AI era, poor governance no longer only creates operational inefficiencies, it creates enterprise scale decision risk. And it has some core artifacts to it. And these principles work together to create trustworthy reporting and trustworthy AI. And these are data quality, ownership, privacy, and compliance. And these are really broad, and so I tried my best to compress this to make it clear. And so without data quality, outputs are unreliable because we don't know the standards to which we're applying our controls. And worse, without stewardship, which is ownership, accountability becomes unclear. Who's the custodian? Who's the data steward? Who's the data owner? Who can make an executive decision if changes need to be made? And right now, with most organizations wanting an ROI, return of investment, on AI, how then do we define it when we're not clear on our stewardship? Without privacy, organizations create regulatory and reputational exposure. Without compliance, organizations lose trust with regulators, clients, and stakeholders. And because of that, trustworthy AI is impossible without trustworthy governance. How are we using the tool? One of the biggest mistakes I have seen in my career is organizations trying to govern everything all at once. But I'll tell you this, strong governance maturity develops incrementally. So what do? Start with one high risk or high value domain. Establish stewardship or ownership. Create controls. Measure data quality. Monitor continuously. Once you do this, governance becomes effective because it moves from theory into operational discipline. And once you do this, you'll find that you'll be able to define your business value in dollars, which is one gap that we have right now, where organizations are struggling to monetize and define the value of their data. And now we'll move to AI risk, because now we understand what data governance is and its role. Let us go ahead and discuss the risks organizations must actively manage as AI adoption increases. One of the fastest growing governance concerns globally is unmanaged AI usage inside organizations. You find that employees may use public AI tools without understanding confidentiality risks or governance implications. I want to quickly get a task done. I'll go ahead and quickly snap a picture using my phone, put it in AI, ChatGPT, Microsoft Pilot, Claude. Don't even think to look that, okay, this is confidential and private information. It might impact the company's posture in terms of competitiveness. I overlook the fact that this can create operational, privacy, compliance, and reputational exposure. And what makes this challenging is that AI adoption often begins informally before governance structures exist. So now the question is, okay, how do we curb this? What you see on the screen are risks that are not theoretical. They're already emerging globally across industries. Bias, which can distort outcomes. And what causes bias? Data quality, not affected. Because right now with AI, we're looking at bias and hallucinations, which then leads to opaque models creating explainability challenges. Public AI tools create confidentiality exposure. Double tap into the hallucinations, which creates misinformation risk. And over-reliance on AI can weaken professional judgment. How well do you trust your organization's data integrity? Importantly, these are not just technology risks, they are governance audits, operational and enterprise trust risks. What you see in front of you is a governance life cycle. Responsible AI governance requires structure. And how do you do this? You want to identify where AI exists in your organization. Do we have any inbuilt in-house LLMs? What tools are we using that have AI? And then you want to assess the level of risks. Okay, what are the risks? Do we have any integrations? Do we have any inbuilt APIs for our apps to be able to connect and talk to each other? Are we running any agents? There goes agentic AI. What data is it querying? And how do we know? Do we have controls in place to know and understand how our agents are running? Do we have any rules for our APIs? Questions? Okay. What mitigating controls do we have in place? And then how do we plan to continuously monitor outcomes? And because of this, AI governance is not a one-time project. It becomes an ongoing governance capability. For accountants and auditors, this approach should feel familiar. The risk register. You already understand risk registers, controls, monitoring, and accountability structures. And so AI governance should be treated similarly. Every AI use case should have a documented owner, non-risks, control mechanisms, oversight and monitoring. I would go an extra step based on maturity and include impact. Because impact is what the executive leaders here, our CEOs here, what's the impact? How many dollars are we looking at? Once you put in that dollar amount, they are able to listen. The accounting profession is evolving significantly. Historically, accountants focus primarily on stewardship of financial records. Today, the profession is increasingly becoming stewardship of trusted decision environments. Boards and executives will increasingly expect finance professionals to understand data integrity, which is often used between data integrity and data quality interchangeably. Okay, what is our model oversight? Governance controls, AI risk exposure, explainability, and ethical implications. This evolution does not reduce the importance of accountants. It expands the strategic importance of the profession, which is why we're always referring to there has to be a human in the loop, and that human in the loop really needs to understand the data and be able to communicate its impact when required to allow for operations to continue. One important area is the regulation and ethics. You'll find that in most cases when impact is being documented, a question is asked, why is this data critical? Is it for regulatory and compliance? Is it for operations? Or is it for executive decision making? The moment you say regulation, ears go up wide. And this is because regulation around AI is evolving rapidly and globally. However, before even regulation fully matures, professional ethics is already applying, which is integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, competence. And these principles remain foundational. And why it is critical is because you find that when it involves regulation, once we start to look at the fines, they are per record, and sometimes just one record, which might have PII, or that is required by RBZ, can be maybe $500. You can imagine if it's just 600 records that is impacted, how many dollars we're looking at. And so technology must evolve and may evolve or continue evolving, but professional responsibility does not disappear. Many organizations assume AI requires large, complex programs immediately. What they overlook is their current landscape as an organization. Where are we right now? Where do we want to go? Future state. Let's now map our current state to our future state. Okay, these are our gaps. Let's define a policy that we will continuously review, because remember, policy is not set in stone. It can be visioned as we go. Every other year, let's review it. This is because governance maturity often begins with practical controls. What tools do we have in place right now? What confidentiality guidelines are we applying? What are the review requirements? Let's double tap into accountability. Have we trained our employees enough? Awareness training. Simple governance implemented consistently is far more valuable than sophisticated governance that is never operationalized. I'm trying to rush my slides now, looking at the time. Let's look at governance maturity. Most organizations right now are still early in their AI governance journey. While technology is moving fast, they are still trying to find their footing. And so the objective is not perfection or advanced maturity overnight. The objective is responsible adoption. The organizations that build trust early will ultimately be better polished and positioned as regulation and AI reliance continue to increase. So if there's one message I want to leave with you today, it is this. AI adoption without governance creates risks, but AI governed responsibly can create enormous value. Accountants are uniquely positioned to lead this transition because the profession already understands trust, controls, accountability, evidence, and ethical responsibility. The future leader will not only understand numbers, they will understand the integrity of data systems, and the AI influencing those numbers. Thank you everyone for your time and engagement and participation. I hope today's discussion has helped simplify AI and data governance in a way that feels practical, relevant, and actionable for finance professionals. I will now welcome your questions and reflections.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for the presentation. And I can see the reactions that are coming from the attendees. Let's just have more reactions as we just thank Tanya for a wonderful presentation. And for all that have questions, you can just raise your hand and I can unmute you so that Tanya can give it up to all the questions that you have. Over to you, everyone, for your questions. You can just raise your hand or you can type your question in the question and answer box. Okay. And just as we are waiting for questions, kindly note that for the upcoming events that we have as the Institute, I have posted some in our chat box. Just register with the links that I've put in the chat box. I think for now there's an assessor training that's starting on the 28th of May. The registration link, and I think I have pinpointed it as the first that I've put in the chat box. And yes, we have the Bulawayo Sustainability Breakfast Forum that's coming into to help you understand the PAB roadmap on sustainability. The Harare we have done in April, and now we are coming to Bulawayo. So it's the Home at Tebeleland chapter that will be targeting for this. So just kindly register with the link that I've put in the chat box as well. Okay, I think, Tanya, there are no questions that I can see from people for now. Which simply means this was all clear and all well. And I think as we just dive in straight to the closing of our webinar, I'll just allow you to just have maybe some parting words with our attendees concerning the AI, data governance and risk, and what they should always keep their head up straight in terms of this whole new I'll rather say not new, this whole thing that is now around AI and all. Yes, Tanya, over to you.
Thank you, Pascal. I appreciate. AI is moving fast. The professional who's going to acclimate and be willing to learn is the professional who's going to stay. And so my parting words are, be curious, explore and use AI and see how you can use it daily in your work to stay abreast with the changes. Right now it's moving fast. We've got agentic AI coming in strong. We've got API governance coming in strong. So how do you use that to help you do the valuable things in your work using AI and distinguish yourself as the individual the organization wants to keep? Those are my parting words, Pascal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tanya. One thing that I've took from there was be curious and remain relevant. I think that's one thing that we need to part much more as finance professionals. And for this webinar, I would like to thank you, Tanya, for all the expertise and knowledge that you've brought. Thank you so very much for the time. We know it's early morning, and that sacrifice of being here this early morning from the United States to just impart this knowledge and all that, we really appreciate. Thank you for everyone who have attended. And right now, we're just going to post to flight up our post-webinar feedback. We just need your feedback on this webinar from the whole content, what we should do next and what we should try to also have for you, because all these things are really specifically created for you, our members and students. So try your best to just fill up this feedback form so that we know what we can create for you next from this AI data governance and risk practical skills every accountant needs today. And also, we have our public sector convention that's starting next week, which is from we're just starting from the 3rd to the 5th of July. Just get in touch with the Institute if you want to be part of the public sector convention. It's a good it's a good convention that have conversations for the whole public sector around this accounting space. And if you want to be part as a sponsor, want to be part as a delegate, want to be part as you want just be part of this conference, just get in touch with the Institute, and also just get in touch with our social media pages for all the information that you may need. And also, we have sustainability trainings that the Institute is running, curating for each and every organization. So if you have if your organization wants sustainability training, get in touch with trainings at ICAS. And then you'll be able to curate something for you for sustainability reporting and sustainability practice. And also, we have our Vimbiso Marathon that's coming in July. That's coming in 12th July. So kindly register for that one. The link, I've put it in the chat box as well. Kindly register that one and let it be a moment for you to network and also to stay fit. Tanya said, be curious and remain relevant. Your fitness also makes you relevant in the profession. And also, for the recording of this, we will share with every one of you the recording of our webinar. Just stay tuned to the emails that will come to you from the technical department, and all shall be given unto you. And lastly, I'm going to just cement on filling up the post webinar feedback survey that I have put that I've pinned in the chat box. Just make sure you fill out that app so that we know what we can do next for you. And lastly, we have our LMS short courses that we have as the Institute. Just get into on our website and go on short courses or LMS. There are a number of courses that are there that you can do as you go on, that includes all this AI, data governance and risk. Also, everything that you might need, you can do them on your own pace, that are running at as little as $30 on our site. So just go on our site, take a look at all the number of short courses that are there. Just try to register for one, get your certificate and your CPDs updated with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe. So this is it. We thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Tanya, and thank you so much, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe, for a wonderful webinar session that we had. Enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the week as well.